Good morning. And the Lord said, Jonah 4:10 and 11 again, you pity the plant for which you did not labor, nor did you make it grow, which came into being in a night and perished in a night. And should I not pity Nineveh, that great city in which there are more than 120,000 persons who do not know their right hand from their left, and also much cattle? You might be saying, Bryan, when are we going to get off these two verses? Not yet. The plant comes into being in a night, and it perishes in a night. Remember that he is drawing a contrast between the plant and the people. God values the people, Jonah values the plant. God's concerned about the people, Jonah's concerned about the plant. Jonah wants the comfort that comes along with the plant. God is concerned about Jonah's commission in bringing a message to the people. The plant is characterized here as coming into being in a night and perishing in a night. If you're going to have God's concerns, then you need to have God's economy of what matters, and his economy of value. C.S. Lewis pointed out that in his wonderful and just epic essay, The Weight of Glory, he talks about how you and I have never met a mere mortal. We've only met people who, he says very eloquently, that if we were to meet them one day, they would be so horrific we could only imagine them in a worse nightmare, or they'll be so beautiful that we would be tempted to worship them. In other words, every human person that you meet today has a destiny that will be the ultimate degradation and falling apart of their life, eternally separated from God, or they will be a creature of glory, resurrected in that way to glory as one who would have eternal fellowship with God. You are headed in one of those two directions. I am headed in one of those two directions, and so is everyone we meet. So therefore, you need to feel the weight of the eternality of another's being. And by eternal in this, I don't mean, I should say maybe the everlasting nature of their being. I don't mean that they always existed, no. But I mean that they will live for eternity, and they will live either with God or separated from God. And this is why we need to feel the weight, the appropriate burden for their life, because we have the message of the gospel. And we ought to feel that eternal sense, that eternal import, in an appropriate way, that eternal burden of their glory. So, I want to challenge you today to think about the weight of your neighbor, the weight of your coworker, the weight of your family member that doesn't know Christ. Think about the weight of the burden of their destiny. And let that drive you to share Christ with them. Let that drive you to honesty with them. Let that drive you to be kind and gracious, but maybe to have an uncomfortable conversation. May the Lord bless you today.